Здравствуйте, my friends, and welcome to this thoughts and opinions video about Everlasting Summer. Now, if you have watched my Let's Plays, you know that I actually planned to do this right after I finished the game. But it's a bit of a complicated story. To make it short, I planned to do this thoughts and opinions video together with another person, but we never found the time and we never had time at the same time and stuff like that. So, it never worked out. And now yesterday, my Winter Tale video where I spoke a bit Russian kinda mini exploded. Let's say it like this, because someone shared this on the VK website of Everlasting Summer. Thank you very much to whoever shared this, by the way. I'm very I'm very grateful for that. I was again stunned. Like, what the hell happened again? Like similar to when I played Travnica. And yeah, since that timely never worked out, I thought, why not do it now? Now's the best time. I've got a lot of, probably a few new viewers who have never seen my Everlasting Summer Let's Play. And, if they don't feel like watching a whole Let's Play, they could at least watch this. Okay, before we go now into each and every route, let's talk a bit more general stuff about Everlasting Summer. Why don't we start out with the question, what does Everlasting Summer mean to me? Well, Everlasting Summer was the very first video that got me like a kinda regular viewership. Like, I had people who came to my Everlasting Summer videos on a regular basis, watched that stuff, and talked actually with me in the comments about what I said and my thoughts and my opinions, because I sometimes have some controversial opinions. You may have realized during the Lena part of my Winter Tale video yesterday. So I have the tendency to make people angry sometimes, and yeah, it's that is why it means personally actually very much to me. Because without Everlasting Summer, I'd probably be nowhere, literally nowhere, with this Let's Play channel. On a more personal note, I also had a lot of fun with this game. Like, I enjoyed playing it, not only because I got viewers, but because the game was enjoyable. I don't want to talk about this right now too much, because otherwise I don't have anything to talk about later. But just believe me, I actually like the game. It has a few flaws. And I will talk about them too. But all in all, I just had a great time playing it. Now, since we are still talking about general stuff, let's talk about the music and the art. Now, I know the Russian viewers here always love the music in Everlasting Summer to death. And I gotta say, I understand why. The music is actually not bad. And there are a few tracks that I personally think are really awesome. For example, the music that plays in the background when the strange pioneer appears for the first time, that has a kind of horrorish tune. Or when something positively magical happens, the music that appears. Or I like the theme of Uliana. I don't know the name of the tracks, I'm sorry, but these are, for example, some songs I really, really liked. I think Everlasting Summer has a very small problem with the music. That is that the music is actually, in some scenes, too dominant. Like, it overshadows what actually happens a bit. You know what I mean? That is a little negative criticism I have on the music. But all in all, I gotta say, like, the music is really good, I enjoyed it, but as mentioned, sometimes a bit too dominant. Now, the art, on the other hand, I love to death. The art is so great in my opinion. And you may be a bit surprised by now. I don't know what it's like in the Russian community with criticism on art. But in the English-speaking community of Everlasting Summer fans, a lot of people complain about the art. Like, they don't think it looks well enough, it's not perfectly shaped. I don't know, man. I don't know, I'm no art expert, and to be honest, I can't remember that well. But it's always one point of critique of many Westerners, I'd say. Now, I personally love the art for many reasons. One of them is it doesn't look like every visual novel ever. I mean, it's of course still an anime style. The girls and all that stuff are all drawn in an anime style. But it's not your typical everything looks like Clannad visual novel style. You know what I mean? It has its own uniqueness, and that is what a lot of visual novels actually miss, like uniqueness. And that is something Everlasting Summer really has down, and one of the reasons I really like it. And it already shows in the art. For example, not only the sprites of the characters look pretty cool, I think, but also like the background pictures for not the background pictures, but like the pictures that appear for special scenes. Let's say when Slavia and Semyon were together at the beach, like the watercolor style. I don't know if it's really watercolor style, but it looks a bit like it, I'd say, and that actually looks really cool. It doesn't look perfect, but it doesn't have to. It has an unique indie project charm about it, you know, that makes it super awesome, and I love it. I really, really love it. Alright, let's jump into the actual routes. Now, this is how we are going to do it. First of all, we'll talk about a route I didn't like, a route that I didn't like that much. And then we are going to talk about a route I actually liked very much, and, you know, back and forth, until we are done. And I'm sorry, everybody. I know many people here love Lena, but man, I did not really enjoy her route. First of all, the shy girl that goes crazy for one or another reason is really overdone. So the premise itself for the whole route is already kind of like, yeah, really? Do we need to do this for me? Second of all, always when she flipped her shit, more or less, it was for so stupid reasons. And I mean, you could argue now, they are teenagers, they have confused feelings, and I mean, I don't know. But maybe I was the most boring teenager in the whole country of Germany, but Jesus, did I never behave so unreasonable as Lena did. Every time Semyon did anything, she was like, you're with Alisa, you prefer Alisa, why don't you go to Alisa? And it made me go crazy. It made me crazy. In the end, I was probably more crazy than Lena. I guess we also have to talk about the endings. First of all, I was spoiled during the Lena playthrough, and I already knew that in her bad end, Lena is going to kill herself. And yeah, to be honest, I wasn't too surprised when I read this spoiler. Now, many of you probably are like, no, you're full of shit. You're full of shit. This shocked me so bad. The thing is, I have played quite a few Japanese visual novels and RPGs. And a suicide from a shy but crazy character is also not that uncommon. When I read that she will kill herself, I expected it to be a bit different, to be honest. I expected something like, was it suicide or was it not? Like, she threw herself in front of the bus and you don't know, was it an accident or was it suicide? But the creators went with a less subtle route. I mean, she obviously killed herself. And yeah, I wasn't too surprised. And since I think the character Lena was not really relatable, I wasn't too shocked anyway. Now the good end is actually interesting though. We gotta be, I'm a fair man. The good end is actually interesting since it's so different from all the other good endings. Like in the other good endings, Semyon is sent back to the real world, or at least what he thinks is the real world, while in the Lena good ending, Semyon stays in the fake world. That is actually pretty interesting. It probably tells you something about Semyon and Lena, both of them not really being able to adapt to the real world. I think is one way to make an interpretation or something like that. I'm not too sure. Like, I'm not 100% sure. And if you have a good interpretation, let me know in the comments. I'm always interested in this stuff. To be honest, if there weren't people who explained stuff to me in the comments while I played Everlasting Summer, I would have never understood the novel. Uh, it's true, there was so much I didn't understand. Yeah, so much about the endings. So to sum it up why I was not the biggest fan, Lena's character was very cliche-ish. She had not really many interesting character traits. She was pretty unrelatable, at least to me. I mean, that is probably different from person to person. And her route was a bit of a bother to play since it was all about, oh, you're going out with Alisa, and, you know. That's why I wasn't the biggest fan of Lena's route. But let's get to a route I actually really enjoyed. So, let's talk about the Ulyana route. At this point, you probably think I am fucking with you. Because a lot of people like the Lena route, and I have read a lot of people who are actually not the biggest fans of the Ulyana route. Well, to get this out of the way, I think Ulyana's day 5 to 7 were actually my favorite day 5s to 7 of the girls of the girl routes. Let's leave the true ending out, but of all the girls, I liked Ulyana's day 5 and 7 to 7 the most. Let me explain why. Now we all know in Ulyana's route, Semyon was a total asshole the whole time. We can't put it in any other words. He was. He was mean to Ulyana. He, for example, we right now will see the picture of the camp having a campfire. And in a few seconds, Ulyana's probably going to jump at them as a ghost. And Semyon didn't go with her. This asshole, although he kinda promised, he didn't do it. And that is actually, if you wanna check out my Let's Play, that is actually one of my... I have never been so internally pissed at anything, I think. But Semyon actually developed in this route. Because in the end he realized that he wasn't actually in the right, but more or less, well, Ulyana wasn't also complete in the right, but Ulyana actually enjoyed life. Ulyana enjoyed life, she made friends, and she had a good time. Something that Semyon didn't have in years. That he actually wasn't able to do anymore, you know? He wasn't able to have friends, more or less. He wasn't able to have fun anymore. That was his main problem. And Ulyana helped to overcome this problem. As it turned out, when they had their very last talk on day 7, right before they departed from the camp, it actually turned out that Ulyana is kind of wise. Even though she's childish and hyperactive and all that stuff, that there is a bit wisdom in this little child's head, you know? More wisdom than the actual 24-year-old, was it 24? I think. 24 years old man has. Because she has a way of tackling life that he thought he wasn't able to have. You know? And in the end, when he was sitting in the bus and they were playing cards and he realized all that, that was actually worth the whole route. The Ulyana route had such a great payoff. And that is why I loved it. Now, to be fair, I wasn't the biggest fan of the whole sexual tension between Semyon and Ulyana in this route. I mean, she's 14 or what is she, and he's 17 in this world. So I mean, it's not like outrage or something like that. But the thing is, she didn't behave like she was 14, she behaved like she was 7. So that is what kinda like, are we really doing this? Are we really doing this? Is she kissing him now? Is she asking him to rape her? Are we really doing this? So, you know, that I didn't like too much. But as mentioned, the friendship that developed between them and the realization of Semyon that life can actually be different was worth him being an asshole for 3 days, you know? That is why this route, in my opinion, was really, really great. Alrighty, I have to end the video here. I am super sorry. I actually hate doing thoughts and opinions and stuff in a two-parter or something like that. I feel like I rip people off. But I don't have much more time to record right now. And, excuse me. And so I'll do this tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. At least like in 2 days. The next part of this will be up. And yeah. I hope you come back for that if you're interested in my opinions. Leave your opinions about what I said down below. I'm really interested. I always love answering comments and discussing stuff in the comments. So, thank you very much for watching. Thank you to the people who shared my Wintertale video on VK again. If you watch this. I mean, I don't know if you watch this. But thank you to the person who did that. And yeah, I hope you will have nice Christmas days. But as mentioned, I know it's not Christmas yet in Russia, so I guess I'll say that somewhere in January again. And yeah, again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you then. Bye bye.